What's up guys, it's the Fabled Menace here, and today we will be talking about the new high flying Dendro DPS, Kinich. Let's start off by talking about his elemental skill. When Kinich casts his elemental skill, he will enter the Night Soul Blessing state with 0 Night Soul points, and will attach a grapple to the enemies. You can gain 2 Night Soul points every second. There are various other ways to gain Night Soul points as well. One way is through normal attacks called loop shots, and these loop shots deal Night Soul aligned Dendro damage. He can gain 3 Night Soul points this way. Loop shot damage are considered elemental skill damage. He can also generate 4 Night Soul points by entering something called a blind spot. This blind spot will appear when grappling an opponent or after firing Scale Spiker cannon, and will disappear once you entered it. The last way is he will gain 7 Night Soul points through his passive talent, the Price of Desolation. This effect will take place when opponents are affected by burning or burgeon and his elemental skill hits an opponent. This effect can occur once every 0.8 seconds. When the max number of Night Soul points are reached, he will use the elemental skill Scale Spiker Cannon, which will consume all the Night Soul points and deal Night Soul aligned Dendro damage. If you hold down the skill, you can aim the cannon as well. Now for his elemental burst. His elemental burst unleashes Ajor, who in my opinion looks like a distant relative to the no internet dinosaur. Ajor uses his Dragon Breath in intervals, dealing AoE Dendro damage. If Kinich is in his Night Soul Blessing state and this is used, his blessing duration is extended by 1.7 seconds. Now on to his passive talent Flame Spirit Pack. After a nearby party member triggers a Night Soul burst, Kinich will gain 1 stack of Hunter's experience. That lasts for 15 seconds. The max stacks you can gain is 2 stacks. These stacks are consumed and used to increase the damage dealt by the Scale Spiker Cannon. Each stack's damage increase will be 320% of Kinich's attack. His last 2 passive talents basically just help with his movement, and his talent priorities will be his elemental skill first, then his elemental burst, and you can level up the normal attack if necessary, but I highly don't recommend it. His besting slot being the Obsidian Codex, a 2-piece of the set. When a character is on field and in the Night Soul Blessing state, damage dealt is increased by 15%, and at a 4-piece, after the character consumes 1 Night Soul point when on field, they will gain 40% crit rate for 6 seconds, and this effect can be triggered every second. For his sands, you will be looking for attack percentage, for his goblet, Dendro damage bonus, and for his circlet, either crit rate or crit damage, depending on what is needed. And for his substats, you will be looking for crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage, energy recharge, and elemental mastery. An alternate 4-piece set you can run on him as well is the Unfinished Reverie. A 2-piece gives him an 18% attack increase, and at a 4-piece, damage dealt will be increased by 50% so long as burning on an opponent exists. Another alternate set you can run with him is the Golden Troop. A 2-piece of the set increases the elemental skill damage by 20%, and a 4-piece of the set increases the elemental skill damage by 25%. Additionally, when not on the field, elemental skill damage will be further increased by 25%. This effect will be cleared 2 seconds after taking the field. Any 2-piece attack percentage will work on him, or a 2-piece attack percentage and a 2-piece elemental skill bonus can work on him as well. Note that this is all just placeholders until you get a 4-piece Obsidian Codex. Before we get to the weapons, if you have enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now back to the video. His best weapon is the Fang of the Mountain King. It has a high base attack but little crit rate. The passive for this weapon is gain 1 stack of Canopy's Favor after hitting an opponent with an elemental skill. This can be triggered once every 0.5 seconds. After a nearby party member triggers a burning or burgeon reaction, the equipping character will gain 3 stacks. This effect will be triggered once every 2 seconds and can be triggered even when the triggering party member is off field. Canopy's Favor. The elemental skill and burst damage is increased by 10% for 6 seconds. Max 6 stacks, each stack is counted independently. A really good free-to-play weapon would be the Earthshaker. The Earthshaker is a craftable weapon as well. The passive for this weapon is after a party member triggers a pyro-related reaction, the equipping character's elemental skill damage is increased by 16% for 8 seconds. This effect can take place even if the party member is not on field. Other 5-star weapons that can be used on him include Beacon of the Reed Sea, Red Horn Stone Thrasher, Verdict, the Unforged, and Wolf's Gravestone. And a really good 4-star alternate weapon would be the Serpent Spine. For his teams, we will be looking at Burning or Burgeon teams. Examples of Burning teams would be Kinich, Bennett, Shangling, and Emily. Or Kinich, Bennett, Toma, and Kole. For Burgeon team examples, we can look at Kinich, Nahida, Yalan, and Dea. Or Kinich, Baiju, Yalan, Toma. Or Kinich, Farina, Bennett, and Shangling. Characters are interchangeable, and for the Dendro characters, you can look at running him with Emily, Nahida, Baiju, Kole, and Yao Yao. For the Pyro, you can look at Shangling, Dea, and Toma. For the Hydro, you can look at Farina, Xingqiu, Yalan, and Kokomi. Bennett can go on the team as well, just to give him an attack buff. I feel like Kinich will synergize with more Natlan characters as they release, especially Pyro characters. Yet another reason to be excited for the Pyro Archon. And just to have a character for movement around the map is always a good thing.